What is going on, fight fans? All right, it's good to be back in here. We did have some fights last night, and the fight that had my attention the most all week or the last few weeks was super middleweight champion Franchon Crews-DeZurn taking on Citlalli Ortiz. Franchon Crews-DeZurn wins the fight. I also picked her in the fight. Now, I didn't watch the fight live last night, but I did get up this morning and watch it. And I actually saw an article that said that Crews narrowly slips by. So I did something that I haven't done in a while, which is judge a fight. I want to see for myself if she barely won this fight or if this was a fight that she possibly won handily, or if it was a gift or whatever it may be. And before I get into my pros and cons and my little thoughts on the fight, I'll give you what I scored. I did have Crews-DeZurn winning the fight. I gave her to her 7 rounds to 3. I gave Crews-DeZurn rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. I gave Ortiz rounds 6, 7, and 10. Let me get to my pros and my cons. First, let's start with the champion, Franchon. The pros would be she did what she usually does, and which is early in the fight and tries to make it a fire fight, tries to make it an exciting fight. She did settle down in parts of the fight, starting around maybe rounds 4 or 5, where she began to try to box at a distance. And she did land some decent left hooks. Let's move on to the cons. I have said this a lot. If you have listened to any of my Crews-DeZurn videos, I have said this a lot. Con number 1 is she seemed to not have good stamina or endurance. Yes, it could be due to the fact that she's been out of the ring for a year and a half, but this is a common theme with her, where she gets into a fight and she begins to fall forward, which is generally a sign that a person is tired. Now, she seems to train quite a bit. If you see her video, she seems to be out doing road work, but she seemed to be quite fatigued to me as the fight went on. Now, my next con would be body work. Her body work was vacant. It was zero. She did no body work on Ortiz. When I saw Ortiz's body, not at the weigh-in, but when she came into the fight, I thought you need to go to the body and wear her down. Slow down her speed, slow down her foot movement. Franchon did no body work. I did not like the fact that she did not use her height and her reach. And I didn't like the fact that she was looping right hands from a distance. Not when she took a step in and got close, but she was throwing it from a distance, basically just lunging punches, almost like a brawl. And I didn't like the fact that fighting a shorter fighter, she did not throw any uppercuts. And if she did, I missed them. They must have been very, very few. As for Citlalli Ortiz, the pros would be she seemed pretty game. She did try to fight on the inside. She did do body work, not a lot of body work, but she did a little bit of body work. But let's get to the cons. I'm sorry, I do have another pro for Ortiz. I did like her footwork, especially as the fight went on. Her stamina did seem to be good, and I did like the footwork when Franchon was deciding that she was gonna, basically lean in or lunge in. She got on the back foot and started moving. The cons would be that she should have done more body work. Franchon was tired. She was there for the taking in the body, and I thought the Ortiz could have basically shoe-shined her to the body, 2-3 shots and get out. I didn't like the fact that a lot of times when Franchon was lunging in, she did not throw short uppercuts to catch her coming in. And because she has shorter arms and she's a shorter fighter, she should have been way inside. But instead, there was times where she was on the outside when she really should have been close, kind of like Usyk did to Tyson Fury. She's the smaller, shorter fighter. She should have been on the inside. Let's talk about the fight. The fight started out as all Crews-DeZurn fights do, with her going bombs away immediately. I mean, I think almost every fight I've seen her fight, she starts out that way. She comes in throwing punches, getting the crowd excited. But as always, that begins to fade. The first 3 rounds really was more of a slugfest and more of a sloppy fight. A lot of falling in, a lot of lunging, a lot of falling. A lot of holding, where the refs had to break the fight up. Around rounds 4 and 5, I thought that Crews-DeZurn started to try to use some of her technical skills, but it didn't last long, which is exactly what she should did. This fight should have really been easy for her, to be honest. It should have been plant that front foot, jab, jab, do the double jab, right hand, jab, jab, right hand, jab, right to the body. But instead, she turned it more into a slugfest. I don't know if she was thinking that she would get Ortiz out of there, but it was very clear that Ortiz was not going anywhere. When we get to round 6 and 7, I gave both of those rounds to Ortiz. I did like the fact that she was taking advantage of the fact that Crews-DeZurn was getting tired. Now, the commentators were saying that Ortiz has a habit of fading out as the fight gets on once you get past round 5. But really in round 6 and 7, I thought they were her best rounds. I thought she looked strong in those rounds, and I thought she did a good job of landing short shots. Get to the end of the fight, rounds 8, 9, and 10. It was really pretty much the same. More lunging, more falling in, holding each other, more shots. There was more shots landed in the hold than there were in the center of the ring. We get to the end of the fight. The fans did not like the majority decision, but like I said, I gave Crews-DeZurn 7 rounds. Now let's talk about what happens from here. First, let me talk about Ortiz. I heard the commentators say early in the fight that she really wants to get down to 160. I think that she should probably think more about junior middleweight and getting down to 154. Get her body right and get down to something that's more of a manageable weight. She's not only is she short, but she has short arms. She's going to have a hard time beating fighters like, let's say at 60 or 68, like Crews-DeZurn, like someone really tall like Savannah Marshall, Claressa Shields, who's taller than her. Even if Hannah Gabriels came back, even if she fought Tasha Jonas at 54, she's gonna or Michaela Mayer, she's going to have trouble with taller fighters, especially taller fighters who have no issue using their height to their advantage. I would like to see her go down to junior middleweight. Listen, I thought her stamina looked fine. To me, she didn't look tired as they were saying that she likes to fade out. She looked like she had her endurance up, but I think that her body will be in better shape if she goes down to junior middleweight and take on fights there. I wouldn't mind seeing her again. As for Crews-DeZurn, there are talks of her fighting all of these big fights. This is what needs to happen. As a 37-year-old, she needs to be active. You cannot fight. I've said this plenty of times about women's boxing. I don't understand why they don't stay active. There are enough fighters out there. I know some of these divisions don't have tons of fighters, but there are enough fighters out there for you to stay active. She needs to fight again in August. It's just that simple. She didn't take any damage in this fight. If she's really serious about fighting, having rematches with Marshall and Shields, she needs to fight again in August. It's early June. Set up a fight right now, get right back to take 2-3 days off at the most and get right back to training and get back in there and fight in August. And if she can get a fight in August and not take much damage, she needs to fight again in October or November. She needs to stay active. She's the type of fighter that needs to stay active. She does not have the type of body where she can take that much time off and get in there. She's gonna look rusty. She's gonna look sluggish, and her endurance is gonna be horrible. After what I saw last night, I don't give her a chance against Marshall or Shields. That's my girl, but I don't give her a chance against those women in those fights. I think that they will beat her and they will make it look easy. Her best chance, in my opinion, is to get 3-4 more fights under her belt before those fights. And she needs to make those fights every 2 to 4 months at the max so she can stay competitive and stay in boxing shape. All right, fight fans, that's all I got for this fight. What did you think about the fight? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Do you agree with me that Crews-DeZurn did win this fight, even though some say it's controversial, or do you disagree? Do you think that it was a draw or that maybe Ortiz won the fight? All right, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can keep talking boxing. That's all I got for this one. Until next time, peace.